Hi everyone, we need to talk. We need to talk about like New Year's resolutions, and we need to talk about the Back to Work campaign, which basically means there's an agent, there's some content, and basically everything is well prepared for you. We're on GitHub right now, and I'm starting here because not everyone is used to how GitHub works. Basically, github.com/Jason Bucket, you will find the repository we're in. So clicking on the Back to Work with AI campaign brings you in kind of folder view. You also, within the README, get some information on what's the newest release and what's it all about. Basically, we'll talk about an agent having a lot of information itself. So you can ask it, you can use it, get some inspiration. We're talking about, if you like to, a proactive nudging mechanism, which of the course of the campaign time frame, which is by standard 30 work days, so 6 weeks, drops a proactive chat message to all users every day, just that they really don't forget to have a look on it. This is how that looks like. It's a adaptive card now, so it looks pretty nice. And if you click on it, it directly brings you into the agent. Nevertheless, you could also, like within the Teams chat with the agent, you could also ask the agent. Nevertheless, I think if you were going through that like cultural transformation process, people getting used to the M365 Copilot or Copilot Chat app, we thought it's a good idea to bring them in there. So why it's called campaign, because agent is one part of it. There also is a learning path you can leverage also here in the repository. And there also is like some collaterals if you want to like do a communication campaign around it, what we totally recommend. And if you don't know how to do that, there is also a sample journey. Talking about the learning path, just quickly, because I know a lot of you are interested in that. Also within the repository over here, Chat Safe AI Learning Path, totally straightforward. It's English at the moment, working on a German version. You can use it directly in the browser, or you can download a SCORM document to implement it into your own learning management system. And nothing branded in here. And here you can see an overview over the topics which are included. Now, what we're going to do is go into deployment. As I said, 3 options. So if you just want to go with the agent, you don't have like a lot of creator rights, you would go with the raw agent source. As you can see, you can also have a close look on how that thing works. Now in 2.3, it's a lot more robust. Works pretty well. Over here, you would like manipulate that. If you want to start on another day, you can also say like how long should it work, should it run, to drop these tips. Now also in here, a little switch. So if you've got like it's well English by default, but if your users have German as like, for example, standard language in the browser, it automatically goes to German. And if you don't like the tips, you can like always change that. So this is how the agent itself works. Pretty important, that point. When do you want the campaign to start? That's important because then from that on, it counts the work days. So for the simplest version, just a declarative agent being built in Agent Builder. Click on the new agent. That opens up. We could describe it, but we want to configure. And now basically it's pretty straightforward because it says these are the suggested prompts. We can copy and paste. And here, everything below to be copied in the agent instructions. Take that, copy, and paste. We would want to give it like a good name, and then put in a description. And as I said, down here, you would put in the suggested prompts, put that open. Well, and it adds. And I would really recommend turning on creating images, because there's at the end a little Easter egg, because everyone will be able to create their own medal for completing the campaign. And I would also recommend to search all websites, because then if people have questions like, okay, there's a tip, I tried it, but I now have questions, just give it the possibility to search wherever it needs. Option one, at the end, if you're done, you click on share, you can share it, but you will only have a sharing link. And maybe what we want to achieve is not having a sharing link, but having the possibility to really bring it on everyone's desk. In here, we've got the Power Platform solution. And if you look into that, latest version for the moment is 2.4, complete solution zip. What you want to do is download it. There we go. Downloading, and then we're good to go. So to really import the solution, we're going to Copilot Studio. Got the three dots over here. Go to Solutions. So whomever had to do with Power Platform in the past might feel a bit like home. Then click on Import Solution, browsing for the file we just downloaded. So taking the, again, complete solution file, click on Next. And now it's going to check for the contents. We could also have a look on, okay, what we want to do, anything to add. Then it goes through. With version 2.4, basically introduced with 2.3, we now have set up a lot of environment variables. That means that you don't have to work within the flow or whatever, but you just have to insert some variables with the deployment, with the import. We do that. What we will need is Entra Connect to get the group members where we want to send the nudge to. So we sign in into that. And also to send out the nudge, we need to connect to Teams. Can I have a look at the time? So I said maybe it's about like 10 minutes ago. Okay, what we see over here is really the environment variables, making it as easy as possible to get everything set up and done within the import process. Nevertheless, there are some things we cannot know right now because the agent and the solution has not been established. So we need to put that in later. Campaign end date, let's say 2026, January 15. I don't know if that is a one. Agent title ID, we have to add later. Start date, don't ask me. Well, this is like not perfect. gotta work on that flow. So today is the 13th. So let's get started today. Now that is new. We can enable a test mode. So really as administrator to just have the possibility to have a look on how does it work and to make sure no messaging is being done in direction to the users. We want to use nudging. Nudge group ID would mean we need the group ID from Entra ID, which group has to be addressed. So that is the first thing we're going to do. Let's go to Entra. And then what we would need is the groups. Let's have a look on which kind of groups do we have over here. Me, in that case, I would take the all company because I want like everyone in my test environment to receive it. I got the object ID over here, copy that, and going back to the solution import. So that is the nudge group ID. Agent app ID will come later. And now we need the admin user. So, and don't be afraid, as it is my demo environment. This is just testing credentials, put that in over here, and we click on import. So basically, all of these parts are needed. This is why we set up like default parameters. Default parameters take care of that. It nevertheless imports, even though we don't have some parts of it right now. Now it's importing and will be done in a bit. Pause for the moment. Okay, that was a quick pause. 59 seconds it took to import. Now we've got it in here. Let's have a look. Back to work. Got that completely imported. So what you get is really like just the complete package. There's not much stuff to do. Here you see all the connections, all the variables, also agent in here, and environment variables. As we want to work on those, you will find in here. But for the agent app ID, what we need is to get that from Entra. So going back to Entra, and what we need is the app registration. So this agent received a app registration. There it is. Looking into it, what we need is the app ID. We'll just copy that. Go into the solution, agent app ID, opens up, and we set the new value to what we just copied, save. Not very much more steps to go. So good so far. What we can always do is like publish all customizations, just making sure that the parameters we just put in are also published. Now back to Copilot Studio. Let's have a look on the agent. Where is it? Where is it? It's an M365 Copilot declarative agent. That's why you find it in here. There it is. Back to work. And if we have a look at over here, you can see all the stuff you will also find in the raw agent source. One important thing in here, because the agent itself has its logic to count the work days from the start date. So that's just the second place where you need to put in the start date. Everything else is well prepared. If you just only wanted, like, I don't know, to have tips on Mondays, well, you could do that. And also, if you don't like the prompting tips down here for every single day, so there's always day number 3. The text or the like headline is rewriting text. P is the sample prompt. And you can go for it. We don't have external knowledge. We don't have tools. We enable web browsing because with that it's like much more useful. As you can see, also the suggested prompts come with it, and that's pretty good. What we want to do is, for sure, maybe you want to change agent name, maybe you want to change the icon. You can do that. And one more thing, just to let you know, now we also have a switch in here that if you are deploying the English version, but there are some users speaking German or whatever, there's a switch in there and it will recognize that your users have another web language and will react accordingly. So switch to German. So in here, you should really put in a better description as I do now. As you can see, a long description comes with the agent, and we want to go publish. Publishing means that now this agent is going on the journey to the agent catalog of your organization. Let's, in a bit, so as soon as it's finished, have another look on like how are we going to publish that agent or deploy it, like how to make it available. All right, so now as we publish that one time, what we want to do is really make it available for everyone. And we want to make it available in the agent catalog as well as app and teams. And yes, we want to share it with the whole organization. That just means like it will be transmitted for the approval of the administrator of the tenant. That's what we see over here. And now we're moving into our role as tenant administrator, go into the Microsoft 365 admin center. Hope you already know like the new possibilities in here. Really like that. Now all agents on one place. If we look on the overview of agents, let's have a look what happened over here or if there is any action to take. I really hope so. Otherwise, we're going into the all agents view. Yeah, this is like pretty new setup, the environment. So that means it sometimes takes like quite some time that this stuff is available and done. And here we see it, requests back to work. That means from Copilot Studio, we said first publish, so to just like establish the agent itself. Then we said make it available for everyone. That means it is being sent to the tenant administrator. Now me as a tenant administrator, open it up. And I can also have a look on, well, what does that thing do? Have all the, I don't know, guidelines. Some other video starting. All right. So yeah, nevertheless, well, now it already opened. So what we can do is we can publish it, we can reject it, but we can for sure have a look on. Okay, what does it do? It's the channels are Copilot, might be available in Microsoft 365 and in Teams. It has not been deployed until now. It will be in the section published by your org. I can also have a look on which kind of data is being worked with. Like, are there any internal documents, anything like what's knowledge? Okay, it's only public sites, nothing to care about very much. And also like anything special around security and compliance. That all looks pretty good, and we really want to publish that. And publishing really means that we now decide who will get the agent to be shown in the agent catalog. I say everyone should see it. And now, within the next step, I also want to make sure everyone gets that pre installed. We don't have to do that, but we want it because everyone should have it available, all right, directly at their fingertips. We can also do that later on. Now we just do that within the deployment process. But if you choose no, you can also take it or change it later on. That's a policy to be applied. We go with the standard and then we say publish. By the way, I did not in Copilot Studio, I did not change the agent icon. This is why it doesn't look so nice at the moment. Nevertheless, well, now it's deploying it. All right, done. One more thing to do, because I said we want to have it is agent in M365 Copilot app. And this is where we now brought it to and where we made it available. And having that pre-installed just means users don't have to search for it in the catalog, but they will find it directly in the agents list on the left side. But one more thing to do. Oh, nothing new. There's something new over here. Manage apps. Let's have a look. So we're in the Teams Admin Center right now. And I've got a feeling there's something to do for us. Skip the tour, please. Okay, let's reload. I'll just open up all the tabs beforehand so that we're not losing any time with that. And now let's have a look on. We're looking for the app type custom apps. Let's apply that. Yeah, we're good. Back to work. Cool. Let's get the tour again. So what does it mean? Now we also have a Teams app containing that agent. It's currently available to everyone. We could also edit availability and say not everyone should have it. We can see some permissions and so on. And we want to do something special because you might know the setup policies. There's a global org default policy, like how Teams looks like. We want to add apps. Let's see, back to work should be there. Select that and add that. We want to have it like directly under the chat. So everyone will see that directly when opening up Teams. So that will really take some time. So if we now look into Teams, it might not mean that it is already there, but it will appear. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, take some time to appear over here. Let's have a look if we're going into the Copilot app in here and pop that open. Got all the chats over there, but what we can see is the back to work agent. Pretty cool. It's in here. It didn't do a thing. We can directly start with it. Same, let's reload the M365 Copilot web app. Should also appear over here. Maybe that takes a moment more. But if we look into all agents and down, like built by your org, back to work is here. So as I said, yeah, we don't have to install it. It's already pre-installed. But now I know. Now I know what happened. I always like trying to be as fast as possible. So sometimes it's a problem. So going back to the M365 Admin Center, got back to work in here. And there's one thing we did not do is pinning for users. Well, now we say for all the users. And that means that everyone will find it. We just reload in the M365 Copilot app. There it is. Whew. All right, so now we imported it, published it, deployed it, made it accessible, available. We deployed it as an app in Teams, pinned it in Teams. We pinned it in M365 Copilot app. And you might remember there was one variable missing, which we could not put in, and that is the title ID. So within the M365 Copilot web app or app, don't care, we just copy the sharing link, and there's one specific part we need out of that. That is the title ID. This will be needed for the proactive nudges to make sure the handover takes place. So going back into Copilot Studio, that, by the way, would also work if we would be in Power Apps, because, well, that very much looks like that, right? And we've got the agent title ID. Putting in a new value and save. So admin user, we already put in that. Agent app ID, we got that from Entra. Agent title ID, just change that from the sharing link. Then if you just go into environment variables, for sure that is easier. Campaign end date, we put that in within the import process. Start date, import process, nudge group ID, same over here. And these two you can like always take to change the way it behaves. And what we want to do now is really have a look on how does that new flow looks like. Already open up Power Apps over here, and if we go into My Flows, this is where I will find it, Daily Nudge V3, and just wanted to give you a view on how does it work. For the daily nudges, you will see there's like a little hello that little hello is the only thing we did not move into another variable because, well, for the next community project, we will have that within the SharePoint list, but we, well, left it like it is. Out of that array, it takes one of these entries. And now we go. Test mode condition. Is it on or off? Is it on? Then the admin gets a quick note. Hey, the flow ran, but test mode is on. If test mode is off, it just continues. Now it checks, is nudging enabled or not? If it is enabled, it just continues. If it is not, information to the admin, then terminates the process flow. Now it's just initiating a variable, like which day is today, checks is the campaign time frame before or after today. And if that is the case, it should really stop, or other way around, is the current date within the campaign time frame. If not, info to the admin, terminate. If it is, where we're in the campaign, then it goes. Now it gets the group members from the group ID we defined. It initializes a variable because we want to know like how many nudges did we send. If we by fault took a group which doesn't contain any members, it will check for that. So if there's no mail addresses in there, it stops. But if there are, it now goes into a loop and sends out the nudge to everyone who is in the group. It increments a variable, and at the end, it sends that out to the administrator. So that would be it for the moment. I would say now it's time. Drum roll. I was like, let's pray to the demo god. We will run the flow and let's see what it does. Basically, no, I don't say a thing. I just look. Okay. Now, what do we say over here? Oh, aha. Well, test mode is on. And it couldn't post that into the admin chat. If we look on the raw inputs that has been sent to the flow, we see that I really messed up that copy job. Now, really wondering how could you mess that up? I don't know, but let's change it. So going back into the solution, admin user, I don't know what I did. I somehow like copied everything over and over. Let's save that. Double check. Yes, now it's only that mail address. And just to be sure, we are publishing all the customizations that make sure the variables are being refreshed. And with that done, we are going back to Power Automate. Now it's on us. Have another try. It says it started the run. And let's look inside. What does it do? Okay, flow run has been canceled. That sounds so much better. So what did it do? Check. What? Test mode on. This is exactly what I said. Like if the test mode is on, we as an admin can just see like how does it behave. So let's look here, back to work. This is a test message. Also giving you a hint, disable test mode in the environment variables to set it active. Well, this would have been like the daily nudge, so that like daily hello, and also we can check if that link in here works. Again, that was why we had to put in the title ID. Let's click on it, and yes, we're getting into the Copilot app, into the back to work agent, and now we can directly interact with it. All right, cool. So one more thing to do, going back to the solution, and let's stop that test mode. Just have to change that to no, safe. Again, just to make sure, publish. Going back to the flow, it has been canceled. We know that. And now let's run that again. One thing I'm doing is like I'm removing the chat history so that we can see now like um, the full experience we're getting. Run that flow. Done. Now let's see what happens. Oh, there's chat. Whom is reaching out to me? Now we've got the daily nudge in here. That for sure can be changed within the adaptive card source. Again, we've got the link to get going within the agent to really get used to that agent experience in the M365 Copilot app. And this is the admin information. Flow succeeded. One message has been sent. Well, it's only me and I and myself, but I think we're done. We're totally done. We imported, changed the variables. It really works. We stumbled over some pretty basic problems, but well, let's say if you're doing the copy job right, not very much can go wrong. With that, let's close that chapter for today. Have a lot of fun with that. If you have any comments, feedback, whatever, let us know. And yeah, go for AI on every desk. See ya.